Welcome to CoPilot, the latest and greatest app in preventing texting and driving. I'm Olivia Cochran.
I'm Ashlyn Crispy.
And I'm Leda Livadeyapunjic.
So what CoPilot does is it lets you see when your contacts are driving, so you won't text them while they're driving. You'll help them stay focused on the road and arrive safely at their destination. Our target audience is teens and their parents.
So let's say that I'm at the movie theater waiting for Ashley. She's running a little bit late, so I decide to send her a text message to see where she is. When I go to my contact list, I see a little blue car icon next to her name. I kind of ignored it at first, but when I go to press send in my text message, a pop-up message comes up, asking if I'm sure that I want to continue the message, because it's 23 times more likely that a teenager will get into a car accident if she's texting and driving. So the pop-up message gives me the option to cancel the text message. And although there are two other options to continue the text or to cancel the text message, or to call, excuse me, we hope that we can encourage teenagers to become the co-pilot and to cancel the text message.
For drivers, there's also the optional option of turning on a setting for you to block all notifications and messages until you have arrived safely at your destination.
Our competitors, Texecution, DriveSafe, and DriveScribe, are priced from $3 up to $30. CoPilot is competitively priced at $2.99 for an individual download and $8.99 for a family pack, which includes your account, which you purchase, and then you get to invite 3 other people, whether they're your friends or your family. CoPilot keeps the road safe affordably. We market through school assemblies to reach out to the teenagers, through TV commercials to reach out to the parents, and through automated response to anyone who does not have the CoPilot app but is still texting a person who's driving and has it.
So our capital to launch is $75,000. With our biggest cost of $30,000 towards a team of engineers to help us build our product initially. Our staff size will be 5, the 3 of us, along with an on-staff engineer and an on-staff designer. We will be outsourcing product development with the team of engineers and also supplementing marketing efforts by outsourcing for the social media. Our revenue for the first year is $29,960, which is 1,000 individual downloads and 3,000 family pack downloads. So here's our timeline. Defining the product will take 3 weeks. Building the actual product will take 16 weeks, which includes the front end and back end development. Beta testing will be 6 weeks, and public beta will be 8 weeks. Along with our focused marketing efforts, we'll have 3 phases, and we believe this will be about 12 weeks per phase. So that's 1 year in time until our product is ready for launch.
A life is made up of many moments, some big, some small. Birthdays, school plays, Christmas mornings, Thanksgiving dinners. It only takes one moment to end it all. Experience these moments.
Stay focused.
Stay safe.
Stay alive.
Be a co-pilot. Don't text and drive.
So I'm your target market. I have 2 teenage boys, and my husband needs this too. So I've got a couple questions for you. You say that there are competitors, but I didn't hear what makes your product differentiate. Because we've actually had this discussion about at home and having this type of product, so I totally get it.
What makes our product unique is that we took the features of each of those competitors and we put them in one app that is much more affordable and more functional.
Okay.
And we also believe that our product is unique because we're not just targeting the driver, we're targeting the friends of the driver so that they don't feel the urge to text their friend when they're in the car.
Great, so I would just say, make sure that that is clear. Sorry, this is a big one for me because I totally get this. I think in terms of your audience, as much as you are going to make sure that the teens are using it, I really need to focus on who's going to buy this. So, you you should be looking at purchasers who are going to be the parents. And specifically, I would feel that it's going to be the moms. So, that would be one place that I would be really focusing your marketing and your media messaging. In terms of people you should be looking at, the mom bloggers are huge and they'll cost you no money. I would also be careful about outsourcing your media, your marketing. I think that you could cut down a lot, probably more on a PR standpoint, but you should be able to manage your social media yourself at this stage of your startup. You want to control your branding and your messaging, and it's very hard to do that when you're outsourcing that. So I would be very clear on that. I'd also take a look at partnering with insurance companies.
We have it on the slide, but we went a little too quickly. But we think that if we can get enough downloads within our first year, we can partner with an insurance company or even the cell phone company to sign up for it whenever you buy a cell phone.
So I'm going to talk to you a little bit from the technical standpoint, because this is where I live on a daily basis, okay? 16 weeks is not enough time to develop this. You will only most likely have time to develop your iOS or your Android, so figure out from your target market based on how, who is using, whether it's an iPhone app to start with or your Android. You're not going to be able to do both well. I'd probably do this native versus hybrid. I know this is a little, but 16 weeks is probably not enough time to develop it well. So I would just take that in consideration and relook at your target market and see which side you should be on iOS or Android.
Thank you.
To continue on her conversation, especially with respect to how to market this, you mentioned something about traditional media outlets like TV ads, which a single ad is going to eat up your entire budget. So you might want to consider doing PSAs, partnering with local stations who are constantly looking for people to do these types of. You may have to produce them, but producing a PSA will cost you $5,000 to $10,000, and then you yourselves can actually take them to local stations, and they'll put it on. And certainly, after that, it will be a matter of word of mouth, because this is a pet peeve for a lot of people, including myself. So you will eventually get to a local celebrity or a local newscaster who may actually help you spread the word.
PSA means?
Public service announcement,
Yes,
right?
a PSA is a public service announcement. I apologize.
Thank you.
One thing I was a little bit unclear about was when you talk about your little icon next to the names in your buddy list or whatever. So what? And you talk about texting from that list. So what are you actually talking about? Are you talking about my regular texting service, or my Facebook messaging, or
in your cell phone? So you have your contact list, at least for iPhones, which I think we'll probably target first, because I feel like that's, at least here in the United States, probably the more popular phone. You have your contact list and you have your message list. So when you text someone from an iPhone, it'll save in your message list. So we think that if we can manage to have a car icon next to both your contact list name and your message list name, it will alert you that this person is driving. So that way you don't have the urge to text them, and you're keeping your friends safe when they're on the road.
Because this is where I'm getting into technological hot water, because I probably don't know what I'm talking about, but the majority of text messages in the US now are not sent through the regular text system. They're sent through WhatsApp or iMessage, or believe it or not, I've got 2 kids who've still got Blackberries and they BBM each other a lot. So you've got lots of different, they've got lots of different platforms. So are you suggesting that you can work this into every single one of those? And WhatsApp, I think, is the biggest one in terms of volume, by the way.
Okay. We haven't talked about that a ton yet. We're just trying to get the general idea. But I think if we can start with iPhones, it's a good place to start. A lot of people have iPhones. A lot of people use iMessage. I know that's what I use. So I think if we can start there and maybe work our way out, it'll be successful.
So, I agree. It's a very, very hot topic and in the news all the time, so I think it's a great application to look into. I actually think that iMessage and WhatsApp is, technologically speaking, going to be the easier thing to solve. Regular text messages is going to be, I think, the problem, because you actually have to send the text message in order to know. It's not an always-on type system. The push notification system is very different. I was just curious to see if you actually looked into that, if it's even feasible to do something like that. A couple other quick points. I wonder, by the way, an interesting feature, do you want to send this, are you sure you want to send this now, or maybe I'll send it for you automatically in an hour, or when this person stops driving, just to have that as an option. In terms of the competitors that someone brought up, really, if they are really cross-platform, or are they only for one of the services, and has anyone actually managed to do the SMS part, that a lot of people, even though WhatsApp is really growing, still use. Two other quick points. If you guys actually ever do wind up doing this, making this real, a good friend of mine is the co-founder of one of the top paid apps on iPhone, so you're welcome to reach out and be in touch.
Thank you.
And then in terms of Prezi, and I guess this is for your presentation and all others, I'm a huge fan of Prezi. I love it. It's super, super powerful, and I think it could be used more than just like a fancy slide deck. You can start off with templates that Prezi gives, and they will blow your mind. So it's a very incredible tool, and I would use it even step up. This is not only for your presentation, also for the others.
Thank you. I wanted to make a quick comment about your presentation. I really enjoyed the fact that you started with a question. I noticed that immediately engaged me, so great job on that. Thank you.
So I thought it was, do you want to?
No, I was just going to quickly add that, I don't mean to add the buzzwords, so, but one of the things that when I'm looking at a lot of startups, no one today has talked about exits. And this seems like such a natural, like who's going to buy you? So you guys make a lot of money. I'm assuming this is a for-profit. So I think an insurance company, and that was the first thing I thought of, and I used to work with a lot of insurance companies, I could see State Farm just scooping this up and saying this is an absolute benefit. So that's, that was the first thing that came to my mind.
Let's talk about, sorry to turn this into a teaching moment, but what do we mean when we mean exits? It's implicit, but let's discuss what we mean.
Yeah, so the idea is that, we all want your ideas and companies to be fabulously successful, and one of the main ways that a startup or an entrepreneur is successful in their company is they sell it. So obviously going public is what they used to do. That doesn't seem to happen as much anymore, but usually they're bought by. And so the idea is that this app or this company, which is just a fabulous idea, I have a 9-year-old and I'm already foreseeing it, but the idea is that a large company would buy this app, and I think the insurance companies buying this would just be an absolute natural.
Thank you.
It's very, very good. A big topic. I agree with Tracey on her feedback. And I think this applies to every single team here, not just you, is you have to take your first estimate of how long this will take and how much it will cost, and times it by 10 or even 20 to get a realistic feel, and then say, can we last that long? Do we have enough money to go that long? And for me, that just applied to everybody, and I know you didn't have the time for that, but that's how I would do it now. My company took 20 times more money, 20 times longer. So you can times by 20 if you like, to give you an idea. I think the other areas that people were talking about, and again, this applies to everybody else, find a company that's done it before, or a mentor that's done it before. So there's a really great company in California called Life 360. And I think, do you know them, where parents can track where their children are? And they have probably all your demographic. I think now they're at 30 million users. They grew very quickly. They started with web, it didn't go very well, so they refocused to iPhone. So the CEO there is one of my mentors, and he guided me on how to go from beta to go out of beta, the kind of branding that you need on mobile. Those kind of mentors, the information that they'll bring, you can't pay for that knowledge or that experience. And he also, if he likes your idea, he also already owns your market and he already owns your audience. So I would say look out for entrepreneurs like that have maybe 5 years ahead of you or 4 years ahead that you can ask for mentors. But otherwise, I love the topic. I agree with the insurance companies. So very, very good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Nice job.
Thank you.